Anambra Police Command has launched an investigation into the alleged confinement of one Chogbo, popularly called Agudo, who was reportedly chained by his father for 5 years in Igboukwu, Aguata Local Government Area. Police spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga disclosed that the victim's father allegedly punished him for traveling abroad without permission. The disturbing act came to light following reports from community youths. Commissioner of Police Ikioye Orutugu has ordered immediate investigations, stressing that culpable parties will face the full weight of the law. Ikenga confirmed that the victim had been rescued and was receiving care. He praised the vigilance of youth whose intervention helped expose the case, describing it as a model of community policing. The command assured that findings from the investigation will be made public. I mean, is locking up your child a good punishment for not telling you that they traveled abroad? Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on this report?
This report has been a bit scary, thinking about it. I've not really heard of such thing happening before. And it's really scary, thinking that of all the things a parent can do, that was the situation, or that's the only conclusion you could come to. So it just begs the question about what that person involved has probably been going through, in the hands of that man. Because chaining up a child, or rather a person, I don't think his age was stated.
No,
I'm sure it's maybe old enough, right, to make decisions for himself or himself already. So chaining up a child for 5 years almost sounds impossible. But I mean, this is a real story, and things are really happening out there. So I'm not sure what to think of it in sense of how or what the father was thinking about. I'm beginning to think it was probably a mental thing.
You think it's a mental challenge that will make him chain up his child for 5 years?
I mean, what else? What else? No sane person will do this, right? Well, like I always come on the show to say, the mental health and all of that is not an excuse, but that doesn't mean these things do not happen due to psychological or mental reasons.
Right.
Maybe I'm sure the guy must have felt. I'm trying to play it in my head, right? To kind of analyze. Maybe the boy or the kid must have felt, oh, this might be a one-day thing, right? Probably didn't struggle.
Right.
Given that this person is my dad, and maybe I'm to blame the things, and maybe he just wants to punish me. Right? And all of a sudden, this became 5 years. It's really scary. And I mean, it just goes to show that lots of things are happening around. And this is why we need our security arms and parastatals and paramilitaries and everybody should be functioning, because we don't know what kind of cases or similar cases such as this, going on in our society.
Right. We are going to, proceed a little bit towards mental health. But before we go towards that direction of this particular discourse, I want to gather your thoughts as regards. Okay, a man takes his adult son, possibly an adult, hopefully an adult son, and locks him up for 5 years. What are your thoughts as regards every other member of his family? Weren't they aware? Right? His brothers, his sisters, probably his wife, maybe siblings of the boy, that this crime was covered up or has happened over a span time of 5 years. I mean, what are your thoughts as regards how we embrace family? Because now we now have the whole idea of everybody mind your business, I want to stay on my own to mind my business. What happened to our communalism that we used to have back in the day?
I'm not even sure what to make about, the conjunction of, the guy's family or the family dynamics in this aspect. Because I feel like this story is just, they haven't even begun to touch the main parts of the story, right? Because there are a lot of things to look at. Where is why, just like you rightly said, neighbors or whatnot. I mean, 5 years is a long time to not see someone. And let's even say neighbors and nobody said anything. Family members, even if this man is a mentally unstable person, at least someone from the family would have, come out to say, something is going on in my household. So I'm not sure. Reading the story or the report, it seemed more like it was probably a single father and
Right.
an only child situation. Otherwise, I don't think this would have gone on for so long.
Right.
If it has, then I'm sure the family dynamics would have so much more crime involved. Because anybody that knew about this, prior to this time over the years, would be tagged an accomplice. I mean,
Right.
it's
For covering this up.
Someone for 24 hours. They're talking about being chained for 24 hours, not a week, not a month, not 6 months, not a year, 5 years. That's literally 5 years of wasted time. Of the young man. I mean, who could have known the kind of trauma that young man will be going through right now? I mean, it's really scary. It's a really scary report.
Right. Thank you so much. I also want to gather your thoughts a little bit as regards, I talked about the communalism we used to have. Usually we would say this one member of the community belongs to everybody. Basically, we used to have the whole your brother's keeper thing. Now, in recent times, everybody has kind of isolated themselves and their families. You see me and my own, me and, my children, I and my immediate family. Do you think that has made us as a people, or it has marred us as a people?
Truly, back, when I say decades ago, right, communalism, families, dynamics are different, especially in this part of the world. A child that was born in a particular environment, and maybe around that environment there are like 5, 10 neighbors, and literally when someone sees the birth of a child and how best like this, and sees how the child grows up, rites of passage of his kid, that child is literally like a community child, just like you said, right? Because that child is everybody's responsibility.
Exactly.
They try to literally take care of that kid. I mean, if such a kid comes back home, maybe these are parents not around, you can usually stay in your neighbor's house,
right?
Eat there and all of that. It's like a big family. But now we don't have that going on because the world has become something else. Nobody trusts. Even in families, like direct families, people betray themselves, keep themselves. In some reports, you will see a child killing his grandmother because of his girlfriend, or a husband doing something to his child. So it's a scary world out there. So people are basically now concerned with their own, right? So most times, like I said previously, if their neighbors around, maybe they knew or maybe they didn't, but nowadays people don't really concern themselves with things that are not their business. I mean, if you look at it in a much more broader scale, people are struggling out there to just keep their own families together. Right? So most times people do not even see these things happening anymore. I mean, even on this program, we talked about the story where the kid fell into the sockaway chamber that was open.
Right.
These are the things. I know it seems like a bit of digression, but it's still like the society thing they're talking about. Because back in those days, people would look at this kid can fall in here. Let's do this. Let's do it. But everybody is just about themselves right now.
Sadly so.
That's why these things happen behind closed doors. More people do it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight on that.